but they not doing the if I were you themselves. Amen. I call that the David syndrome. And Saul said, take my armor and go fight Goliath. And David's like, well, you ain't going out there with your armor. Why would I go out there if it ain't working for you? You understand what I'm saying? Everybody can tell you how to solve their problem, but can't figure out how to solve their own problem. He says, I'm not gonna walk in the counsel of the ungodly, nor would I stand. I'm not gonna act like sinners do. And the word sinners ain't got nothing to do with folk doing what we call sin. Is people that are acting as if they don't know who God is. Nor would I sit in the seat of people that are always complaining. That's the first plan of my life, right? That's the first plan of my life, is that I'm stopping hanging around folk that ain't got nothing positive to say. Every time you say something, they tell you how that's not going to work. Every time you say something, they tell you how ain't nobody right. Every time you say, I found someone I like, you got to watch them because you know all of them got to, you know, all those folk that always. They ain't never happy unless they see you unhappy. You know, they low-key, we call them haters. They not haters. They just mad. They not mad at you. They mad at themselves in misery. Because they didn't. They ain't got no plan, and they killing your plan. Amen. You say, I'm going to Las Vegas. I wouldn't go there if I were you. Well, ain't nothing there but sin. How you know? You ain't never been. How you know what's there? I found, I told somebody that. Sin City, how you know? You ain't never been there. You went on somebody else's opinion. I've been to Vegas a couple of times. A lot of stuff you can do that ain't got nothing to do with sin. Amen. Amen. Matter of fact, San Antonio is Sin City. I'm going to Dallas. I'm going to take 35. I wouldn't take 35 if I was you. Okay, I'll take 10. I wouldn't take 10. Well, have you ever been to Dallas? No, I ain't been. Well, you don't even know what's going on. Yeah. I was laughing. I laugh because people like to give me directions that ain't never been nowhere. Somebody was trying to tell me how it is to fly on a plane. I'm like, have you ever flown? No. Then how you know how it is to fly on a plane? This person said, I can't go there. Anyway, because how are you going to give me directions when you don't have none? I can't tell people how to run a business if I ain't never owned one. Amen. So he says, don't sit in the seat of scornful. Get rid of stop watching TV shows that got scornful people on them. Because what you put in your spirit is what comes out of your. We was watching, I remember growing up, okay, 11:30, I'm trying to do this. While I was growing up, back in the olden days, it was so funny. Back then, all you had on TV was the stories. Right? So you got up, and because there was only one or two TVs in the house as a kid, you didn't have a choice of what you was going to watch. So growing up, I knew what was on CBS. CBS started off with The Young and the Restless. After The Price is Right, 11:30, 12:30, 12:30, 1:30 was The Young and the Restless. 1:30, I think to 2:30 was As the World Turns. And then from 2:30 to 3:30, I think it was The Guiding Light. Yeah, okay, nobody watched that, right? Okay, they was on ABC. On ABC, it was One Life to Live. And General Hospital. No, on One Life to Live, All My Children. And then General Hospital. Now, because I was younger, I wasn't into stories, but because I was younger, right, I liked General Hospital because I could relate to Luke and Laura. I couldn't relate to Victor and Mrs. Chandler. They were too old, eh? Couldn't, and Nikki, I couldn't relate to them. I couldn't figure out how Victor could do all this, and nobody, but over on General Hospital. But anyway, so you didn't have a choice of what to watch. But because you watched it so much, you begin to see people through folks on the stories, not realizing that was scripted and your life is not. They were actually acting according to the plan. And when you stopped watching because you had no plan, you adopted their plan that really didn't work for your life, because at the end of the day, that wasn't a plan for their life. That was just a plan for an hour. And you changed your whole life around based on a 1-hour script, and you've been in that script for all your life. Now, maybe yours is not General Hospital. Yours could have been your parents living their plan, or someone over here. You understand what you had no. So now you got to watch what you put into your spirit, because everything that comes into your spirit may not be the plan for you. It may be someone's scornful retaliation of how their life has not been. Is this helping? So, Psalms 1. So Psalms 1:3 says, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law he meditates day and night. Here's the verse I want to get to. He shall be like a tree that's planted by the rivers of water, that bring forth fruit in his season. His leaf shall also not wither, and whatsoever he does shall prosper. Why is that interesting? Because I got in my car this morning, Deborah, while I was waiting for her to come out the house, and I was looking at the word plan. And I was like, Lord, outside of Jeremiah, where do you talk about plans? And he brought me to this word planted, which the root of planted is plan. Because when you plant something, it's because you have a plan. Are y'all with me so far? So his plan was to put this tree by the water, so that when its season comes, because I planned it to be right here, it'll bring forth fruit. And even when the season is kind of dreary, it will not wither, because it's planted by water. So whatever happens to it is going to prosper, because I plan to plant it right here. Did I put all that together kind of good? In other words, I didn't just put this tree anywhere. I planned to plant it, not based on